Indie games have become a gigantic fixture to the PlayStation 4's library, so in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 upcoming PS4 indie titles. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Chasm. Chasm is a procedurally generated platformer taking inspiration from hack-and-slash dungeon crawlers and the Metroidvania style approach. From the trailer, the game's got some fantastic music and the art style has a very retro look to it. If you're a fan of games like Super Metroid and Castlevania, this is a game that'll be right up your alley. There's no exact release date set for the game yet, but hopefully we'll see it sometime in 2017. Number 9, Pyre. Pyre is a party-based RPG where you lead a band of exiles through a vast mystical purgatory. The game is being developed by Supergiant Games, the guys behind the hit indie titles Bastion and Transistor. The game has a very vivid and colorful art style, and the gameplay looks very interesting. Supergiant Games have a great track record with their titles, and Pyre will probably fall in line. It releases in 2017.
Reader! Dare you tamper with forbidden knowledge so soon after your sentence into exile? 'Tis true what the book says. You can be free again. Perhaps not you yourself, but someone worthy of the privilege. You witness now the one way to return to glory. You shall face adversaries whose own freedom is at stake. They fear not the purifying flame. Do you?
Number 8, Absolver. Absolver is a martial arts-based action RPG being developed by Slowclap, an indie studio comprised of former Ubisoft Paris employees. The story of the game is focused on human development as they try to find their place in a collapsed empire. For an indie game, it's very technically impressive. The gameplay seems to have a lot of depth to it, where you can build custom combinations of strikes, parries, and feints to fight other players. And Absolver is just a very interesting game. It releases in 2017. Number 7, Sundered. Sundered is a beautiful hand-drawn adventure game, particularly another one in the Metroidvania style with a horror-themed focus. You explore a constantly changing dungeon and fight hordes upon hordes of dark creatures. Thematically, it's one of the most unique upcoming games, and it's one with a lot of potential. We don't have an exact release date yet, but it's expected to release in 2017. Number 6, Rime. Rime is a game that has been in development for a long time. It was originally shown off back in 2013, and at that point it looked outstanding, similar to games such as Eco, Journey, and The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Initially, the game was funded through Sony and became an exclusive, however that funding has since ended, and the game is being published by Grey Box. For a while, many were worried that the game had been cancelled, but that notion was quickly debunked, and the game is set to release in 2017. Hopefully it can muster up to be something of quality. Number 5, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade is an interesting indie game in that developers Ninja Theory classify the game as an independent AAA title. Many see the game as a spiritual successor to Heavenly Sword, a fantastic action game released on the PS3 back in 2007. Hellblade actually features the same art director as Heavenly Sword. The gameplay looked unique, it did seem a bit sluggish, but hopefully the final product turns out well. It was scheduled to be released in 2016, but with it now being November, we probably won't see it before the year's out. An early 2017 release seems plausible.
No.
Few would brave such a desperate journey into darkness. But it isn't bravery that drives Senua. Only those afraid of death would use such terms. Senua's fear runs far deeper.
They know you're weak. Get up and fight. You're pathetic.
Control the fear. Let it pass through. Remember his words.
Number 4, Death's Gambit. Death's Gambit is a challenging 2.5D action RPG where you explore a medieval world filled with beasts, knights, and gigantic bosses. The one thing you'll notice right away about Death's Gambit is the fantastic art direction. It's a modern take on old school visuals. The music is also superb, and the bosses are very resemblant of what you would see in a game such as Shadow of the Colossus, in that they're absolutely massive and you have to find intricate ways to bring them down. Death's Gambit doesn't have an exact release date yet, but it's expected to release in 2017. Number 3, Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee is a kickstarted game being developed by a new studio in Platonic Games, which is a group of key developers from Rare during the N64 era, which was the peak of Rare. The game is seen as a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie and follows a similar style where you play as a male chameleon named Yooka and a female bat named Laylee, and you'll explore a gorgeous open 3D environment, collect items, a typical 3D platform fare. Yooka-Laylee is scheduled for a 2017 release. Number 2, Pray for the Gods. Pray for the Gods is an action-adventure survival game with a very similar style to Shadow of the Colossus. You start the game on a frozen island with no equipment, and you're tasked to find items and survive in dynamically generated weather. The boss fights will be massive and you'll have to climb onto them to beat them. Pray for the Gods doesn't have an exact release date yet, but being as ambitious as it is, we might not see this until the end of 2017, maybe even 2018. Finally, number 1, Matterfall. Matterfall is the latest game from Housemarque, who have become one of Sony's core developers, even though they aren't the most well-known guys out there. They're responsible for some of the best PSN downloadable games, including Resogun, Super Stardust, and Dead Nation. Matterfall is their latest project, however, this is more of a big budget game in comparison to their previous works. Not a lot is known about the game yet. The CG trailer does set a very interesting futuristic tone. Hopefully we find out more at next month's PlayStation Experience event, but we should see Matterfall by the end of 2017. So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PS4 indie games. What do you think? Which PS4 indie games are you the most excited for? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.